How I build SSTOs. My method of building is somewhat chaotic at times because I like to integrate a lot more design than function. That being said, the first thing I try to do is come up with an idea, and that design is going to be the premise of how the whole aircraft is going to turn out. I never expect anything really to fly on the first try, so when it does, it's usually a ecstatic moment. But this aircraft, this SSTO that I'm building here, is pretty much the basics of everything that I do. Now, what you're seeing here, I kind of jam a lot of the RTGs in there, and I shield them from getting heated up by the atmosphere. That's my little trick that I use with the RTGs. And from there, I just start adding parts. Whatever I'm trying to go for. In this case, I was trying to make a giant duck, believe it or not. So it's what first ran through my mind was I wanted a duck-faced airplane. That is how the beginning of this started, with the weird front with the dual intakes. So once you start getting everything slammed on here, I like to use a lot of radiators. I use them in front of any parts that I know have overheated in the past, and I will angle them backwards like that, so that way they don't get affected too much by drag. You gotta watch out for drag when you're building SSTOs. Now, I like to use tweak scale. Some people don't like to use a lot of tweak scale or mods in general. I think tweak scale is something that should actually come default in the game. It should be a vanilla part of the game, so you can tweak out the size of the parts however you want it. But some people don't look at it that way because, hey, now you can tweak out your engine or fuel tank at any given stage. So maybe it's something that can be unlocked later. But as you can see here, it does a lot to help out balancing the aircraft, especially in this type of wing that has fuel storage. Now we have to go ahead and throw on, I have the radiators on, I need the control surfaces. Now I need my ramjets. I use ramjets a lot for high altitude flight, especially when I need a lot of power. And I will throw on a crap ton of these coolers to keep everything radiated, cool, and also keep these engines running as long as possible. They have intakes that actually do work on them, in case you didn't know. So now we just need to get our thrust all balanced out. Looks like I accidentally have that one attached, but there we go. Just move that on over there. And that should be alright. Now, this craft is mostly ready, believe it or not. It doesn't take very long to get these things up and created, and this one should have a ton of fuel. And luckily, since the wing is so big, all I have to do is shift the wing forward and back to just balance everything out as I'm building it, to balance the center of lift with the center of mass. Alright, so we just need to throw this on here a little light so I can actually know where my attachment point is here. And to keep this part cool, I can put a radiator in front of it. And I'll show you how. Oh, crap. Alright, thank God for Control Z. Alright, there's a radiator right here at an angle, and that will actually help the cooling a bit and keep some of the heat off of it. Big wheel time. We need the big wheels because this is a really large aircraft, and of course that part's angled so it won't work. I need to slide everything forward a bit here, and then I can actually put my wheels on there. Crap, wait, no. Alright, slide that forward. Okay, now the wheels will go on there. I can drag them back, angle them down, and then drag everything back, since everything is so well balanced on the wing. Alright, let's get these balanced out. I don't want them to touch. I want to radiate as much heat as possible without them touching. That's more for a design spec, but it still works. Alright, so next, well, I got the wheels. Just make sure that I try to keep a nice little angle on my wheels, so that way the rear wheels are higher than the front. But this bird's ready to fly. Test flight! Well, here's the real boring part that most people don't want to sit back and watch, but this is, to me, the most exciting part, because I get to see how my design actually works in KSP. That being said, let's get everything fired on up. I have everything mapped out to my action groups. First up is my ramjets, and then I will assist those with my rapiers. Now, the rapiers don't have enough thrust to get this bird off the ground initially, and to get it up as high as I need to escape, because this is a really large craft. I think we're at like 0.34 thrust to weight ratio before I added in the ramjet. So, and the ramjets they get a lot of power up top. So now this bird just has to get off the ground. Oh, dear God. This is a heavy craft. Normally my craft would be off the ground by now, but this one is so freaking heavy that it does take a lot longer to get off the ground. There we go. Okay. And now we push. Our big push to get to the upper atmosphere, and so we can drink as little fuel as possible. But with all the fuel in our wings, it should be an easy thing, especially when you're working with tweak scale. Now, tweak scale, I don't think tweak scale is cheaty, because it actually does add mass, fuel, weight, everything to that part that it just expanded out, depending on how it was configured. So that is something that people want to keep in mind when they're like, oh my god, it's so cheaty. So we're gonna do a few jump cuts here and there, because we really just need to get to space here. Now, what you're seeing here, with those turbojets, with those ramjets, I have to watch the thrust that I'm getting from them. So usually I will keep them thrusted until I cut them off, till they're giving me almost no benefit, and then I let the rapiers take over and the higher upper atmosphere. Here we're just going to get our circularization. I hate that word. Here we're going to get our orbit. I try not to guess this much anymore. If this craft has a lot of fuel, but I am trying not to guess working. So now we just need to head towards our maneuver point, and we have a ton of fuel left, so it's an easy orbit for this aircraft, and it has a ton of liquid fuel left over for when it is coming back down to Kerbal. So this craft I call a massive success. I did test it out a bit further later, and I actually was able to go to the moon. It wasn't a very good orbit because I ran out of fuel as I made my orbit around the moon. So it's kind of stranded out there. But this craft is able to do quite a bit of stuff. It has a lot of fuel on board, and I completely forgot the RCS, so it's a little hard to control. But that is a beautiful shot of the aircraft and the sun. Hold on, it's not Sol, almost Kerbal, and the aircraft, the duck face, on its orbit around Kerbal. So I think this is freaking awesome. Look at those radiators glowing red hot. That is why all those radiators are there, is to keep this thing cool when it's flying through. Oh man. Now this craft is mostly stock. Tweak scale is being used, so like I said, it is a mod I think should be vanilla, so I obviously will use it a lot. But this thing here, look at that glowing red. Okay, final boost to orbit. Here we go. A few seconds later, we should have everything switching around. Come on, camera view. That's how you know you made orbit. It's when your camera view switches up on you. Actually, to be honest, I don't like it when my camera view switches. This right here, I don't like it when that happens. But there you go. Orbit is complete. This aircraft is fantastic. So, for those that are wondering, hey, why don't you ever go out into space? Oh, I do. I do. Glowing red, beautiful in the darkness of space, in orbit around Kerbal. Jebediah smiling his face off. There you go. My SSTO, that's how I build them. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. It's been your boy Jatwine. I'm out. Peace. Whoa! Actually, just come like this. This is the cool part. Now, this is what I like about this aircraft. We can roll directly sideways out.